morning. On my way to class, and I just wanted to share a thought, a perspective of mine. And my perspective, one of my perspectives, is I have real trust issues, right? And most independent people do, right? I'm like super independent. You know what I'm saying? Like I take complete control of my life, complete control. You know what I'm saying? If I can't do it, then I'd rather, if I don't have time to do it, I'm still gonna learn about it anyway, right? But if I don't have time to do it, then I'll hire somebody to do it for me. And I would teach myself about it, the basics and stuff, so that I can know I'll know whether or not I'm being cheated. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the type of person that could blindly trust a system, a company, a process, especially if I didn't create it myself. I don't just trust blindly. You know what I'm saying? So, and that translates into business, right? It took me a long time, and I've lost a lot of money, or I wouldn't say lose. I left a lot of money on the table simply because of how deep-rooted my trust issues are. And I had to learn the hard way that, making money is a team sport. You know what I'm saying? You can do it by yourself, but as far as growing in the way that I plan on growing, you can't do that shit by yourself. You have to build teams. But the hard part is, I don't trust people to have the same passion and the same work ethic and the same degree of urgency as I do. You know what I'm saying? I don't trust that they do, because I've never really found. Actually, I never found anyone that does. That's not actively doing their own thing. You know what I'm saying? And personally, I've grown tired of taking, those body blows and those punches and being disappointed and betrayed. So, with that being said, there's a lot of things that I've learned about, humans and human nature, human psychology. And the more I learn and the more I teach myself, the more I expose myself, to that area of knowledge, the more I'm proving that, trusting people isn't necessary, it's not a good thing. You know what I'm saying? Not wholly and completely, you trust people to be who they are, right? And the hardest part is really, trying to figure out if the person that you're seeing is really the person that they shown is really the person that they really are, right? And you're not really going to get that out of the majority of the people that you meet. The people that you get that out of, like the unadulterated who they are people usually, it's funny, but it's usually people that are closest to death, aka older people. Or if they're not older, then they're just not afraid to die anyway. you know, and it's either one or two things they become based off of their perspective on death. And it's usually one, they just like, whatever I do here in this lifetime, that shit don't matter anyway. So I'm just gonna do whatever the hell I please to whomever, I decide to do it to, and those are usually the treacherous ones, right? And two, the other perspective is, everything is temporary. So, like a sore thumb, it'll only be sore for a small amount of time. So it doesn't really matter. Them taking losses or disappointments or being betrayed by people, they don't care about that shit because they've already, paid their price, so to speak. So they just like, it doesn't faze them. And I'm on that side of the coin. But I haven't built the system inside of my humanity that blocks the angst and the anger that I get because I'm such a serious person from being betrayed or being let down or being disappointed. Because I haven't worked out not having expectations for people, But what I have done is I've just focused my expectation for people to be who they are, right? So it became easier to predict what people are going to do before they do it. And I just kind of emotionally worked through my thoughts and my feelings on what I predict by studying their patterns, what they're going to do. So when it does show up and it does happen, I've already worked all that shit out, so I'm not even mad. You know what I'm saying? I've already come up with a contingency plan to counteract that or protect myself, CYA. But studying human nature, I've learned a few things about humans and just my experience with people in general. I learned that people are absolutely unreliable. Absolutely unreliable. And I've also learned that everyone has a price. Everyone can be purchased. Everyone has a price. And for the small thinkers out there that's listening to this or watching this, a lot of the times the price that people are willing to pay or the price tag that they have has nothing to do with monetary things. Honestly, the people that that have a monetary price on them are actually the easiest to deal with. They're the easiest to control. They're the easiest to manipulate. And they're the easiest to get what you want them to do done. Because all you got to do is just pay their price. It's that simple. You know what I'm saying? So, I've come to terms with the fact that I'm not particularly good at team building. Now, participating into a team, I can do that too. But I'm such an independent. I'm just, as soon as I see or feel like the team isn't as serious about what the work is, you know what I'm saying, then I just bow out. I ain't got time for it. Yeah, I'm not going to care about something that I'm helping somebody else with more than they care about it. You know what I'm saying? Nah, I'm not about to do that. That's why it's extremely hard for me to take partnerships seriously, relationships serious. I'm the type of person, I can maintain a friendship with somebody for 10 years and see them physically or spend time with them physically maybe 10 times out of those 10 years and be straight. You know what I'm saying? And be completely fine. But it's hard to it's hard being so hard on people, and but I don't expect anything or anyone to do anything for me or with me that I'm not actively doing for myself or that I haven't done for myself. You know what I'm saying? I've learned a long time ago that most people they don't really give a shit about receiving advice. They just want to be agreed with. And I'm not an ego stroker. I think that shit is pointless. Stroking egos is pointless. And because I take it personal, and I get offended if I feel like somebody's trying to stroke my ego. There's a difference between agreeing with somebody, stroking their ego, or telling them that you see something within them that they don't see yet. There's a difference. And I know the difference. I know what all that shit look like. Pertaining to me, I know what all that shit look like. So, ego strokers are the most manipulative people that you can come across. So you gotta be careful with that. You know what I'm saying? I don't do ego stroking. Admiration, I don't have a problem with that. Giving perspectives, I don't have a problem with that. Challenging my perspective, I don't have an issue with that either. But stroking, nah, man. Don't stroke my ego. That'd be the quickest way for me to disappear and leave your ass alone. Be the quickest way. Don't blow smoke up my ass, because then I'm gonna sit here and think that you have an agenda, and I'm gonna go dig and try to figure out what the hell your agenda is. Because people are completely unreliable. Now you always find and you always come across some people in your life that are actually honest and are actually for you and actually do things out of the kindness of their hearts for you, and because they want what's best for you and they want to see the best of you, and they don't offer, they don't want anything in return as far as favors are concerned. They just want to see you become the best you that you can be. You'll come across a handful of those types of people, and those are the type of people that you build with. And the hardest part about finding those people is everybody tries to fit into that little bubble of, of acting like they want to be a part of your space so they can get something out of it. My experience. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes, the act can be so good that, you kind of overlook the signs and the red flags. And sometimes you really are just completely oblivious of what their intentions are. And you can get played. But, that's part of it, being played. That's part of learning. That's part of growing. You know, the more you played, the more you played, you know, the easier it becomes recognizing players. And you can't really hate the players. The only thing you can hate, the only thing that you have to hate and you can actually be mad of is your lack of understanding of how the rules are played in the game. Because life is a game, and it's a game of people. It's a social game. You choose the player that you're going to be. You choose the game that you're going to partake in. You know, you choose what your role is going to be. You know what I'm saying? And you can't be mad at that when you come across players that have more experience and just play the game better. You know what I'm saying? Just learn. Just learn how to become a better player. And all this shit is just temporary. So, have fun.